Hi friends, Saurav here. Welcome back to my channel. As we are studying about functions and procedures, so I just thought to let you know how to this what is PLSQL subroutine calling notation. Okay, so before starting the tutorial, I'll just let you know that what is subroutine. Subroutine is PLSQL programs like function and procedure. These are PLSQL subroutines actually. Okay, so what is a subroutine calling notation? Means how to call the program, how to call the function. That notation is called calling notation of subroutines. Okay, so here I have written calling notation is a way of providing values to the parameter of subroutine such as PLSQL function or a stored procedure. Means whenever we create PLSQL procedure or function, somehow like this, create or replace procedure name, then then we used to pass the parameter here, parameter 1, then parameter 2, and how to call this parameter in our program when we are calling the procedure, or when we create the function. At that time we pass some parameter in our function, and how to call that parameter, that is what called as calling notation. Okay, so that is what we are going to see today. So I'll explain you everything. So there are three type of calling notations are there. First one is positional notation, second one is named notation, and third one is mixed calling notation. When we talk about positional notation, it will come something like this. What is positional notation? In positional notation, we have to specify the value for each formal parameter in sequential manner actually. Okay, so what does it mean? Suppose we for example, I have created a procedure here. The procedure is create or replace procedure myproc. The name of the procedure is myproc. Here I have passed two parameter p underscore deptid and p underscore raise sal. Both is of number type. Both are of number type, and the keyword is and begin. Then under begin section, I have just written a small code to update the employees table. How we are updating? Update employees set salary is equal to p raise sal. This is the same parameter what we are passing here. Okay, where department ID is equal to p underscore dptid. This is the same parameter what we are passing here. So this is how we are updating the table actually, the employees table, and we are just taking the output as dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So we are taking the department ID, this department ID, and the raise salary increased by the raise salary. Okay, so this is how we are going to run this. We have written this procedure, and we are going to use these procedure to to call the procedure actually. So before that, let me run this code, Control C, and run this code in our SQL workshop. So as you can see, okay, end is not there, we have not terminated this thing. Now run this code. So as you can see, procedure created. Now let's jump to Sublime Text. So we have created the procedure. Now we are going to call it. How we will call it? This is actually whenever we used to call the procedure something like this, when we are passing the value directly here, this is called positional notation, positional calling notation. Okay, so let's copy this. Let's call this in our SQL workshop and run this. So as you got to see, department ID 40, salary increased by 2 times. So here actually for department ID 40, salary get increased. Our procedure after calling this procedure, it runs and it just increased the salary by 2 times. So using this update command. So this is how we used to call the notation, actually call the positional notation. Okay, now the second one is named calling notation. How to call named calling notation? What is named calling notation? Let us understand this first. So named calling notation lets us pass values to the formal parameter using their name. Means whatever the name of the parameter, with the help of that name we used to pass the named calling notation. This will in return let us assign values to only required or say mandatory parameter. I'll explain you these 2 points in my example. That will be help us to understand it in better way. In order to assign values to formal parameters using their names, we use association operator. Association operator is something like, it's a combination of equal to sign and greater than sign. That is what called as association operator. Okay, something like this, formal parameter, and this is a combination, this is actually association operator, combination of equals to and greater than, then the value. This is how we used to assign named calling notation. Okay, so for that I have created a function here. I'll explain you the example first. Here I have created the function. The name of the function is my underscore fun. We have here I have passed three parameters: f underscore var1, f underscore var2, f underscore var3. Out of these three parameters, this is optional. I mean, default we are assigning a value 0 to this parameter. So while calling the function, no need to give any value to this parameter. Just these two parameters are mandatory. Whenever we will call the function, we'll give the value of these two parameters only. Okay, because the f underscore var2 is already taking default value as 0. Okay, so this is how I have declared three variables, then return number, then the keyword is, and begin. Here I am doing three output we are taking as. How we are taking dbms underscore output dot put underscore line, var1 is equal to var1, whatever the first parameter is, then var2 is equal to f underscore var2, the second parameter, and this is the third parameter, and then we are returning var1 plus var2 plus var3, then end the block and the function. So here a small program, a small function we have written to understand about the named calling notation. Okay, so here let's create this function first. And while calling the function, while we will call the function, at that time we will get to know that how named calling notation work. Okay, so let me run this in SQL Workshop, Control V, and run it. So our function got created. Now let's jump to Sublime Text, and here we will see how to call the function. Okay, so before that I'll just let you know how what mistake we do actually. Okay, what kind of mistake we do while calling named notation. Okay, so here actually we have in our my function procedure, we have three parameters. I'll just show you once more time. We have three parameters, var1, var2 and var3. Out of these three parameters, var2 is containing a default value as 0, while var1 and var3 we have to give some value to var1 and var3. Okay, while calling the function. So here I'm going to call the function. Okay, so I already told you how to call the function. If you are not knowing about that, I'll give you a link in description below how to call the function. Just go and watch that tutorial, then you will get to know about this calling notation in better way. Okay, so here I'm calling the function. Okay, so here as you can see I have only I'm only passing two parameter, because only two parameters is required, one is optional. So if we will pass something like this, we will not get the value, we will get the error. I'll show you the error first. Control C and paste here. Let me delete this and paste it here. Run this code. So as you can see, we got the error. What error? Wrong number or type of argument in call to my fun. It means that we are missing something. Actually, yeah, we know that out of three parameters, one is optional, but how to control that thing? So let's. This is the first example, which is actually incorrect. Let's consider second example. Here what I'm doing, I have passed one parameter, then second parameter is null, then third parameter. Let's try this. Try this by calling function. So delete the previous one and paste it and run this. Again we got some error. It means that this calling way is also not working. So we have to use named calling notation here. How we can use that? We can use that something like this. So here I have written a small program which will help us to understand about named calling notation. So for that I have declared a variable v underscore results, which is of number type. And let's come to begin section. Here in begin section I just have written v underscore results, and then I have used assignment operator, and here I'm using the function. So what I'm doing inside the function, the name of the function, and then the parameter. See, this is the first parameter, so this is association operator. Okay, so first parameter, so when we are saying first parameter association operator 2, it means that 2 is getting assigned to first parameter. And same thing we are doing with the third parameter. See, the second parameter is missing. It means that second parameter automatically it will take the default value, because we are only doing only assigning the value for first and third parameter using this association operator. Okay, so this is how we have taken the input, and we are printing the value. So let's run this code and try to call the function. Control C, paste in SQL Workshop, delete the previous one, paste the new one, and run this. So as you can see, we got the output. So this is how our named calling notation work. Hope the example of this thing is clear to you. For any confusion or doubt, let me know in comment box, and do practice this thing. This is very important concept in the case of PL/SQL function and procedure. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching the tutorial. Thank you very much.